Hi, my name is John, and this is Business Update. In this week's episode, we'll be talking about Apple's plan to conquer the streaming services by getting more subscribers and competing with the likes of Netflix as well as Disney Plus. Now, for many of you may not be familiar what Disney Plus is all about. It's a streaming services similar to what Netflix is offering by offering original content and obviously some licensed content to attract new consumers to watch their platform. And obviously Apple is known for the makers of iPhone smartphones, desktops, tablets, and whatnots, more on a manufacturing side. But now they've since verged into other aspects or other areas of their business to expand their dominance in the marketplace here. But obviously, it's not as easy as a transition one would like. Obviously, it would make sense for their business to transition from a hardware business to a software, in this case, a streaming business, since they already have the hardware component. People are using their devices, so it makes sense that if they were to offer contents that their consumers or customers can watch at their own leisure would be, it would just make sense. But the question here is it a compelling case to subscribe to their service? Now, obviously, I myself don't subscribe to their content because of the limited content that they have, and the fact that I'm not an iOS user is very limiting in terms of why even bother subscribing to their content. But nonetheless, obviously, I'm only a minority in terms of their demographic, but obviously they're targeting more so in the Americas, Northern American region, which they have a stronger hold in terms of market share in the United States as well as in Canada as well. But what's interesting in this particular article, so let's take a closer look. Wherein, according to TechRadar.com, where Apple TV Plus, what they call it, sorry, it's not Apple TV only, Apple TV Plus is trying to be more like Netflix, and that makes it much more better value now. Obviously, for Netflix, they're only a streaming services, none of the other peripheral business that they own, which is difficult for them to grow even further. That's why they should be concerned because of many competitions such as Apple, and you have Disney, Paramount, practically all TV networks in the United States is trying to come up with their own streaming services to compete with Netflix. But with regards to Apple here, I think it makes sense for them to offer this services. But the question here is, how long will it take, or will they even reach to the stratosphere that is where is Netflix and even Disney Plus is? And looking further, by offering more content obviously is important or tantamount, but the real question one has to ask them is it compelling content that people would subscribe and maintain their subscribership throughout their lifetime? So let's take a look what their aims and goals here is. So the streaming services just added movies not made by Apple but only in the United States. So obviously adding, having original content to offer your subscribers is very important. So to engage them to watch your content, but obviously having newer content and then having a backlog, a catalog of libraries of films and TVs and whatnots, similar to what Disney is doing with their Disney Plus subscription, so they can gain traction here. But obviously, in the case of Disney, they're spending millions, billions of dollars to get those IPs. But in terms of return, are they getting the return that they're looking for? May not be a good investment in this case, since based on the ratings, reviews of the Marvel shows has been lukewarm at best. And the only series that I've enjoyed and I'm interested on watching moving forward is the Mandalorian series. But the rest of the Marvel uh, characters or even Star Wars content that they have offering, something I'm not looking forward to. So in the case of Apple here, The question here is what type of contents that they're offering. Now, obviously, I've seen some of their content, and in particular, the film from Tom Hanks, Greyhound, is a very interesting story, a simple one, World War II film regarding the Allied forces versus the German Nazis, U-boats, and the Allied navies, which is a very interesting story. So that's a good film. But obviously, you have to keep on adding more contents to be able to retain and engage your current subscribers and get more traction and add more viewers here. Anyway, so if we were to read further, so so Apple has quietly rolled out an extension of its library of films in the US. Obviously, their main target audience is in the United States by adding a number of licensed movie not owned by the company for the first time, which I think is long overdue because obviously unless the studio has or the company has created a lot of content which obviously Apple does not, they're already behind compared to the other streaming service which has a back catalog of original older films. Like let's say Paramount, they have Star Trek films, old, new, and current and moving forward. And then you have Warner Brothers, which has a back catalog of HBO's Game of Thrones. Then you also have Harry Potter, and the list goes on and on. And obviously that brings a lot of clout. But obviously, if you're a viewer, you can only watch those films so many times in a month or in a day and so forth. So you still need to provide new content, compelling case for your audiences to stay engaged here. You're reading further, it mentions here that what happened appears to be an experimental move. The service is currently offering a number of older movies to watch for free for subscribers. Well, better be free, obviously, or they're charging a substantial fee. Such examples is the Anchorman from what's his name again? Will Farrell, yeah, and then you have the Hunger Games series. So what's interesting here, obviously they're capitalizing on those popular IPs, and if you are interested in those actors or types of genre, and they could easily recommend more films similar to what you prefer here. Now, the films in question appear to as a suggested bonus content when browsing Spirited, Mythic Quest, and Causeway. Apple TV Plus 3 most recent major releases that are exclusive to the platform. Now, honestly, I haven't watched those films, and obviously, if it's compelling, I might watch it sometime later in the future, but only time can tell. So in this case, they give you an example. When users lands on the page for the new Christmas comedy musical Spirited, they also presented with options for also watching a handful of other films with that also stars Will Ferrell or Ryan Reynolds, including semi-pro, old school, and even Van Wilder. So some of them are interesting. Are they compelling? Maybe you'd watch if you got nothing to do at home or you're stuck at home for the holidays and whatnot here. But obviously, more catalog is always important, and I think for all streaming services for them to maximize, they should be able to license all of the catalog of films, and obviously let the viewers decide what they want to watch, whatever platform it may be, and not just exclusively on one particular platform. Otherwise, it's just the same issue with regular TV networks. You're trying to click on the channel, what channels to surf, and hoping you might see a film or a TV series that you enjoy watching when you were younger, and you'd stick to watch it and then flip again later on to watch something else. So they're touting that 20 films have landed on the platform. So as mentioned, you have Jennifer Lawrence with her Silver Linings Playbook. You have Kevin Smith's Clerks, and the Brothers classics of Hudsucker Proxy, also among other films that will be available for Apple TV Plus subscribers. And good luck to the platform if they're able to capitalize on it. And I think similar to the problem that Netflix is incurring is, yes, you may have the resources to produce more content, but if the content is not compelling, well, subscriber base will always dip down, and no amount of money throwing money at the problem if you don't attack the problem with the right amount of content, the right people to create those contents, similar to what's happening with the Witcher series for Netflix. The fact that the main character, the lead actor, is leaving the show is a very foretelling, indication of how bad the series has turned, the way it is. So we'll see if Apple will learn from those mistakes and capitalize on it and create more compelling content so that subscribers from one platform will shift to their platform since they are offering better content here. We'll see. Anyway, that's it for this week. So come back again on Wednesday for more business update here. Anyway, if you have any questions, leave your comments down below and I'll try to get back to you. As always, I'll see you in the next one. Take care.